Welcome everybody to Boro B's Football Manager Factory, and today we just won 4-1 against the mighty Sheffield United. I say they're mighty because, man, they really were tough last season, weren't they? They were a tough nut to crack. They did not lose a single game against us last season. And if you had told me about, if you had asked me about this fixture just 3 weeks ago when we drew 3-3 against Southampton, man, I'd be very worried because they're the kind of team that we struggle against. They're very good with set plays. They're very good with direct free kicks. But they are a good team because, unlike Burnley, they actually play. They try to play. I actually like Sheffield. I think they're a good team. I hope they stay up. I know they've had a horrible start, but it's only just the beginning. But man, oh man, I was so relieved because it started out that way. When they pressed us really strong in the first 5-10 minutes, and we looked shaky. I have to be like, let's be clear, we looked very shaky at first. The first goal came from a misunderstanding from N'Golo Kante. I think Ziyech told him to stay with his man, but Kante, for whatever reason, decided to go with Ziyech and double press the player on the ball, which opened up the space for the cutback, which led to the goal. It was a really nice goal. There was really nothing Mendy could do because the flick was a nice flick by McGoldrick, David McGoldrick, and he seems to only score against us. Man, what's happening? This guy doesn't seem to score against everyone else. But that's because I think our defense fell asleep. And a credit to him, that was a great finish. But then what I loved was the response. See, This is why I wanted Ziyech over Willian. Willian is the kind of player that in big games will run around and to pundits and to experts will look like he's actually working very hard and he's being productive, when the reality is Willian most of the time was not productive. He was wasteful. Like Hakim Ziyech, that pass to Kovacic opens up the game for sure. That 1-1 changes the entire complexion of the game, because once you're 1-1 with, I think, 25-30 minutes to go till halftime, it just completely changes the tempo of the game, the way the game is going. Sheffield United, suddenly they're like, we don't have a lead to hang on to, whereas someone like Willian just runs down blind alleys and tries to put balls in and hits the first man, whether it's from corner kicks or crosses. And now he's no longer our problem. He was a great servant for us, but now he's Arsenal's problem and led them. You know, a deluded friend of mine once said, Willian is apparently our best player, and he's an Arsenal fan. He said he took our best player. Are you having a laugh for real? Willian is not the best winger, probably in his home city in Brazil. He just isn't. He flatters to deceive. He always does, and he will continue to do so at Arsenal, as my friend will find out this season. As for Ziyech, man, he made the difference today. His pass opened up Sheffield United, the cutback, and then a scuff shot. I don't even know if Stanley meant to finish that way, but it's a good finish. You'll take it. You know, it's 1-1. We get the goal, and then the beautiful second pass. We've seen this. Whoever's watched Ziyech's highlights or his videos on YouTube or watched him in Ajax, certainly against us, he whips those balls in with such curve. And I had my doubts about him, to be honest, at first, because a lot of people were saying it's the Premier League, it's a physical league, it's not the same as Eredivisie. A lot of players have found that out. There have been good players from Eredivisie and the Premier League as well, so you can't rule everyone out. But, you know, I had my doubts in the sense that would he be able to cope physically? And when he made those substitute appearances at first, he was not showing his best qualities, but he's grown into the team. As soon as he got the start against Burnley, or was it Krasnodar, his first game, he started to play really well. He's been shining. He's probably been our best player. In fact, today for sure he is. Actually, last 3 games, he probably has been consistently man of the match, and that's something we are used to seeing from Eden. Make that difference, you know, break that low block. It is not easy to break a low block. You're seeing the similar kind of impact that James Rodriguez had for Everton. He just because he's class, his quality, his top quality, and these type of players make the difference. I want to see these top quality players play for Premier League teams, not Willians. I'm tired of the just just running around brainlessly. Just there's a role for a player like that in a team when you have quality around them. Like when we won the league, Hazard was doing all the creativity. Fabregas was doing all the creative stuff. Hazard was doing all the dribbling. That allowed Willian to run around and do all his defensive work. But when you ask him to create like we did last season, not good enough, and that's why we moved on from him. Maybe Frank Lampard would have liked to keep him as a bench option, but we've moved on from him, and that's the right decision in my opinion. But what a game, man! Like, so the second goal comes in, beautiful cross from Ziyech. Chilwell, I don't think even know what's happening. He just puts his body there, and then back of the net, and that makes the difference because now Sheffield has to open up. They don't open up, to be fair, for a while. 30, 40 minutes, they try to hang on, and they do. And right when they open up, Ziyech again with a beautiful cross. And this time, it's Thiago Silva, the man who I said will make the difference, but I was laughed at. People keep telling me this guy is not one of the world's best defenders, but I can't hear them right now. He 100% is, and I'm telling you, he's the second best central defender in the league after Virgil van Dijk. And I don't even think that's a scandalous claim. That's a fact. And Thiago Silva proved us once again that this guy is the difference maker. 2-1, you never know. Last 10 minutes, they just throw balls into the area, and we've seen a lot of dodgy decisions with regards to VAR. Anything that's in and around the area, any slight touch, which the player feels like he might go down for, is given as a penalty kick these days. So we stayed alive in that sense. Sorry, they stayed alive, as in Sheffield stayed alive in that sense. But then that goal kills the game. And then we have a couple of more chances. Timo Werner manages to take one. The other one he misses by a whisker. But it's all coming together, man. It's all coming together, and we are. Let's be honest. Let's not mince words. We are in a title race. And I'm not saying we're favorites, because I think Liverpool, they're the best team in the country. And Man City are probably just behind them. But we are definitely in the title race. It's coming together. Like, of all the other teams, apart from Man City and Liverpool, I think we're the best team. Honestly. Tottenham have a good shout, for sure. Arsenal have no shout, for sure. But yeah, it's looking good, man. It's looking so good. Like, every piece is... But there are some things that needs to be crucial in order for us to challenge. Thiago Silva has to be fit throughout the Premier League campaign. I would not risk him playing Champions League games. Not too many anyway, because, listen, it's a risk for sure. We might end up being second in our group, but we have to take that risk. There are not that many defenders like Thiago Silva around in the world, and maybe that's saying something about defenders these days. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, he is a world-class defender, and we've seen him make that difference for us. The same kind of difference that Ziyech or James Rodriguez makes in attack, he makes in defense. And the problem with defenders is he's 36 and still one of the world's best defenders. That tells you all you need to know about central defenders. There's not that many great ones around. There's good ones. There's a lot of good ones. Good. When I say good, they can be managed. Like Zuma. Zuma is a good defender who, when playing beside Thiago Silva, you see his best potential. When you saw him play beside John Terry in the 2014-15 season, you saw how good he can be, or how potentially good he is. But when you ask him to be the leader, when Rudiger and Christensen or Tomori is with him at the back, that's when all the disaster starts happening. In a way, it's similar to a lot of other defenders who are good when following the lead of the more accomplished, the more respected, and the more responsible defender. And Thiago Silva is exactly that. The other man who's made all the difference for us is Mendy. Like, look, it's amazing. Like, I was blaming Frank, and I have to be honest. I have to be completely 100% down to earth and say, you know what? I was wrong about Frank. When I said Frank, I had my doubts about Frank. I had my doubts that would he be able to manage a top team. He was not. It seemed as if at the start of the season, he was basically the same problems as last season, and he was not focusing on the defense as much. But over the last 4 weeks, he has. Maybe he started a little bit later than I perhaps anticipated he would, because I thought initially, right off the bat, he was trying to shore up the defense and then go forward. But we were playing our usual attacking football for a few weeks. It paid off in a few games, but then he understood fast that, listen, we have to fix the defense. And for him, I think it's a personnel thing. Mendy and Thiago Silva has made all the difference to our defense in terms of not making those mistakes. When we go up by a goal or we are up by 2 goals, usually when we that casualty sneaks in and we allow other teams back into the game. Those mistakes are not happening because of Thiago Silva and Edward Spider-Mendy. They're awesome, and they've made all the difference. And Frank Lampard has proven me wrong in showing that he does know how to coach a good defense. He knows how to, he knows the defensive side of the game. He isn't just all about attacking and scoring goals, and he's showing me wrong. But we'll see about Frank, and we'll see about this team. One thing I know, I don't think Frank is to blame yet. Like, I don't think there's any blame attached to Frank with regards to where Chelsea is. I think it's now I've realized that it was always it was Kepa, and it was the defense. Like, sometimes you can shore up a defense using with lesser individuals, like Arsenal did by parking buses. However, I don't think Frank was willing to do that, and because of the lack of world class quality at the back when it came to his selection, people were suspended or Thiago Silva just made the transfer, so he wasn't fit. That cost us dearly in the first few weeks. But that's first few weeks, and it's such a strange league because of the lack of preseason that it might not be that denting at the end of the season. So we'll see what happens with regards to the season. But I think we're in a title race. I think being third is logical. I can see Chelsea being third. That's a logical ending. But no, I dream big, and the only dream that matters, the only dream that counts, is to win the damn title, and that's what we have to go for. Whisper it quietly. We are in the don't whisper it quietly. We are in the title race. We might not be favorites, but we are in the race. I don't expect us to be like last season, 25 to 30 points behind the top team. I expect that to narrow down to 5 to 10 points max, 15 points, let's say max. But then again, I just have a feeling we can get this, man. We can do this. The next part after the international break will definitely give us a better picture with regards to who wins, where we are with in the title race. But it's all fitting in, man. It was 3 years ago when we won the title under Conte. You could just sense that something was clicking, and you have that feeling with this team. We are going in the right place. Now the only thing to do here is stay humble, and just keep going, man. Keep going. Let the haters hate. Let the naysayers neigh. We just keep on going, and we just keep on winning, because that's what will take us to the promised land, which is the title. Whether it's this year, next year, or the year after, we are going to win the title. With regards to some of the other results, I saw Everton against Man United. They started the game well, and then this is what I fear about Everton. I like them. I like Ancelotti, as you know. I'm really fond of the guy. He's a really nice guy. He's a really nice manager as well. He's more of an old school manager. He's a people pleaser. And by that I don't mean like the public. I mean like the dressing room, the people he's with. But I think he's got to make a decision with the goalkeeper, because the goalkeeper is not good enough. I get a lot of Kepa vibes from him. He's just not in sync with the rest of the team, and with Pickford, he makes a lot of rash tackles. There was another one on Maguire that could have been deemed as something worse than it was. And mistakes are creeping in, and Manchester and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer once again proving his doubters wrong. Every time the chip is on his shoulders, he seems to find a result. Every time there's pressure on in his back, you can feel the pressure. It's about to crumble him, crush him to the ground. He gets back up and he tells everyone, "I'm not going anywhere." And credit to him. I'm so disappointed in the Manchester United board, how disgracefully they have behaved. They leaked to the Manchester Evening News that they have contacted Pochettino, and wow, what a dick move on in terms of, why would you do that to one of your legends and someone who's been a yes man, someone who's not exposed you for the frauds you are? If I was Ole, I would be going out with all guns blazing. I would go down, but I would take everyone with me, like Shawn Michaels once said. That's what I would do because, listen, he's not exposed the board. He's supported the board while they haven't backed him. And now they're doing this. They're putting him in a position where it's easier for him to fail. And that is so disappointing from the supposed biggest club in the world. No, not when you're behaving like this. That goes to Real Madrid. As well, but a good performance from Ole and his boys. They come up with a 3-1, deservedly so. Could have been more. But Everton near the end at 2-1. Doucouré had 2 swipes a goal. 2 decent opportunities. Nowhere near it. Air ball. And he swung at it, missed the ball completely. And Man United get the win. And Bruno Fernandes again with a man of the match performance. A great performance from Manchester United. And they get the win. The other result I saw, the late game, I saw West Ham versus Fulham. And now this was a controversial game. It was boring for 75 minutes or so. And then it kind of livened up right at the end. There were a couple of VAR decisions that I have to talk about. VAR is very controversial. The decisions, you don't know whether it'll go your way or it'll go the other way. That's why a 1-0 lead is extremely fragile. Now, at 0-0, so there's an incident. So at 0-0, the goal that West Ham scores is potentially an offside as they switch the play from the right wing to the left wing. And Sebastian Haller, the striker, was standing in an offside position. And he makes this little movement towards the ball. And he makes the movement and then he moves away. But it kind of distracts the defender for that 1 second. So instead of heading the ball with conviction, he hits the ball in a very gentle and not so convincing manner, which the ball goes straight to a West Ham player's feet, and then he cuts it back 1-0. And that was a bitter blow for Fulham because they defended well, and that one slip up, you could say, cost them. And is that offside? What do you guys think? Like, is that offside? I think that's offside because the player makes a movement towards the ball while he was standing in an offside position, and that little movement distracts the defender. So how do you get into this? Like, how do you determine if that's offside or not? Because if a player is interfering with play when he's in an offside position, then it's technically offside. So in my opinion, he was interfering with play, and that's again a VAR decision, once again causing controversy. The goal stands, and then another controversial decision. Saeed Benrahma takes down Fulham's number 10. Is it Tom Kearney? Takes him down. Does he take him down, though? That's the thing. Like, he makes contact with his leg, and he falls down, does the attacker, as you would do if you feel anything in the box these days. And it's been pointed to the spot. Now, this goes to a on-field review. They check the monitor and they give it. So I'll give the referee the benefit of the doubt because he sees the monitor and he decides that it's worthy of a penalty. But it did not seem like there was enough of a challenge for me to go down. Like if you're playing a game at full speed and you're touched a little, if you're touched significantly enough, you'll feel it and you'll fall down. But it didn't seem significant enough to me. It just seemed like a slight touch, not worthy enough to go down. When you put that in slow motion, of course it's going to look bad because it just does. Like in slow motion, any tackle you can make it look like a bit, a strong tackle. I don't think that was the case here. However, the penalty given, and Fulham failed to take it because Lookman tries to chip the goalkeeper, Andrea Pirlo style, and he completely gets it wrong. And then you can see the poor guy's face. He was just completely sad. He'll probably not sleep for the next 2 days. He was in tears almost. And I felt bad for him. Like I was screaming at him at first, but then I saw his face and I was thinking, man, like the poor guy seems very much distraught and hurt by the decision he made. Perhaps he should be, but he has to learn from this. I don't think you should chip goalkeepers. I know you're tempted to do so. It's finesse and looks nice, and when you're doing it 1v1 against your friend in FIFA or Pro Evo, it's nice. It's a nice banter between your friend and you, but like it's not easy to do that, and it also takes a lot of skill. and he got it wrong completely. And I think he should have gone for power and placement. Would have been a safer bet, especially at that time in the game, 94, 95 minutes. You get a penalty kick, last kick of the game. That's what you want, and Fulham let their fans down. And I like Scott Parker as well. I don't see themselves, like, Fulham are also a nice team. Like, as a Chelsea fan, that's weird to say, but, like, I like Scott Parker. He used to play for Chelsea, he played for West Ham. He's a nice guy, and I want him to do well, but he's got to get this team to start acting together. But I fear more for Fulham than I do for Sheffield. Like, Sheffield, I can see they play as a team. They have a philosophy, they have a structure, they have a way of playing. Takes them time to perhaps might take them time this season to perhaps get it together. But I just believe that they might have enough to stay up. But with Fulham, I'm concerned. I don't think they have enough right now at this point. They're probably one of the favorites to go down. They haven't invested a lot of money this time around. Last time they did, probably they thought, let's keep our team together and see what this team can do. But I think they need to add a little bit more than what they did. They did add a goalkeeper and Anguissa, a defensive midfielder, I believe, and Lookman, and not bad. They're not bad players. But I don't know if they'll be enough. We'll see. Loftus-Cheek starting on the bench, I did not like that because Ruben he can't start for Fulham. He's not going to be able to start for Chelsea, and it just looks bleak for him at the point. And he wasn't that bad. When he came on, he looked decent. So you can still tell he's talented, but again, his time is running out for him. This guy is now 24 years old. He really has to make an impression in Fulham, and I'm sure now, because Fulham not winning by playing so defensively, they're not getting the results they need to stay up. I think they need to open up a little bit more, be a bit more brave, and try to get some results on the front foot. Anyways, guys, this was a review, again, a match review for the Sheffield United game and the other game that happened in the Premier League. I'm going to get back after tonight, after I see Man City and Liverpool, see who's the title favorite. That's a big game. I'm definitely going to be coming back and talking about that game, and amongst other things, talking about actually, it's international break, so we'll probably talk about some internationals and some other stuff that's happening in the football world. But until then, from Boro B's,